Center for Constitutional Rights since the 1960s. Currently, he is the Vice President of the Center for Constitutional Rights, and he is the co-author of an important statement which is available today at the CCR table that they put out on Gaza. Peter Weiss.
A word of explanation. Like probably many of you in this audience, I come from a Zionist family. In Vienna, where I was born, my father, who was a member of Kadima, the fraternity founded by Theodor Herzl, used to take me down to the race course to hear speeches by Jabotinsky. Fortunately, it didn't take me very long to realize that there was another version of Zionism. And I went for the first time to Israel in 1950 to pick plums on a progressive kibbutz named after Judge Brandeis, Ein HaShafet. Now, why am I here? It's a complicated explanation, but I'll give it to you briefly. One reason I'm here is that I was a soldier in the American Army when the bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. And my reaction to my eternal shame was like that of many of my fellow soldiers. It was relief. We wouldn't have to go and fight in Japan. And when I realized years later the unimaginable horror of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I promised myself that when another such horror occurred anywhere in the world, I would not remain silent. Now hear this about the horror in Gaza. This is a report from the International Committee of the Red Cross, published on January 8th. Relief workers found 4 starving children sitting next to their dead mothers and other corpses in a house in a part of Gaza City bombed by Israeli forces. This is the report of the International Committee of the Red Cross. And further on in the report it says, they were too weak to stand up on their own, the children. One man was also found alive, too weak to stand. In all, In all, there were at least 12 corpses lying on the mattresses. That is the horror of Gaza, about which I am not prepared to remain silent. Now, I want to say a word about placing this in the historical context. That's always a very important thing to do. But as I will try to explain later, it may not be the path to a resolution of what is currently going on there. Chris Hedges mentioned Amira Haas as one of the courageous people in Israel. She is the Mother Courage, or the Molly Ivins, if you like, because she is a journalist. And this is what she wrote in Haaretz, for which she covered Gaza for 3 or 4 years. she wrote, "Whoever gave the instructions to send 100 of our planes, piloted by the best of our boys, to bomb and strafe enemy targets in Gaza is familiar with the many schools adjacent to those targets, especially police stations. He also knew that at exactly 11:30 a.m. on Saturday, during the surprise assault on the enemy, all the children of the Strip would be in the streets, half just having finished the morning shift at school, the others en route to the afternoon shift." But then a few paragraphs later, she says, "It is never the right time to say, 'We told you so,' because once it is possible to say those words, they are already invalid. We cannot revive the dead, nor repair the damage caused by arrogance and megalomania."